Karina Gould is Canada's Minister of International Development. She's been directing Canada's contributions and participation in COVAX, the International Vaccine Alliance. Minister Gould, it's good to see you again. Thanks for taking time to speak with me.
Oh, it's great to be here, Peter.
Look, Canada's already ordered some 20 million doses of the AstraZeneca vaccine. We have sort of different numbers floating around today from the World Health Organization and COVAX from your government about exactly how many doses Canada could receive from the COVAX facility in March and through June. What numbers have you been told that Canada will receive?
Well, so the purpose of the COVAX facility is to provide vaccines for 20% of the populations of those that are members this calendar year. So Canada has an allocation for 20% of our population. And the numbers that were released today from the WHO were precisely the first allocations that will start to flow in the coming weeks through the COVAX facility.
So what number is that? We've been hearing it's 1.1 million doses. The Minister Anand said by the end of March, up to 3.2 million doses by the end of June. But that document released by COVAX today shows that Canada's been allotted 1.9 million doses for the end of June, so a lot less. Is that your understanding?
My understanding is the same as Minister Anand's. And the point of the document that was announced today, or was released today, was really to demonstrate what the potential schedule could look like. But, you know, I would go with Minister Anand because she's the one that has the direct relationship with COVAX and with suppliers.
All right. It brings some questions around the broader issue of what COVAX is for. And we learned today Canada is the only G7 country to draw from the COVAX limited supply of vaccines, which are primarily meant for poor or developing countries. So how does Canada justify that?
Well, actually, the reason why COVAX was set up was to create equitable access. And so its intent always had two streams. It had the self-financing stream, which Canada and other nations who are able to pay for their allotment can go through. And it has the AMC, which is the Advanced Market Commitment, which will provide donations to countries who would not be able to pay for it on their own. So it always had those two streams. And part of it is the self-financing portion, helps the AMC portion secure access to doses because COVAX is procuring and buying doses from pharmaceutical companies. And so the intent was always to enable self-financing countries to receive their allotment at the same time as providing doses to lower income countries who would not be able to make those purchases on their own.
I guess the question that many people will be wondering is Canada getting doses? I know we have an allotment of 20% of the population. Are we getting doses while some poorer or developing countries have yet to get a first dose?
So the point of COVAX is to deliver those doses at the same time. So the document that was released today by the WHO will show the different allotments for each of the, over 180 COVAX member countries. And so at the same time that Canada will be receiving COVAX doses, so too will other countries within the COVAX facility. So the point really is that these doses are being delivered at the same time. And COVAX made their purchases based on the submissions made by all of the member countries, both self-financing like Canada and AMC, those that will be receiving doses via donation.
Right, but do you have, as a contributing country, I mean, do you have the option of deciding when you want to get your doses? Because we know that European countries are also facing shortages, but none of them have tapped the COVAX supply yet. So what does it say about Canada's case?
Well, basically what it says is that Canada has entered into a number of different agreements with different manufacturers, including the COVAX facility, to ensure that we're getting doses for Canadians. I mean, our top priority is to ensure that Canadians get vaccinated, while at the same time ensuring that there's access right around the world. And, we have been the second leading contributor to the COVAX facility financially for the those that will be receiving doses. I'm the co-chair of the AMC engagement group, so really pushing to make sure that there is equitable access. And part of the other reason of Canada being part of this facility is to demonstrate our trust in this institution and in this mechanism. And I think it's actually important that Canada is there both as a country that will be receiving doses to shore up that confidence in the mechanism, and that's supporting doses going to developing countries.
But just to be clear here, so you are saying that the fact that Canada is tapping into COVAX now, or in the month of March and and through the month of June will not in any way affect the numbers of doses that flow to poor or developing countries.
That is correct, because COVAX made their purchases and allocation decisions based on all of the countries that had expressed an interest in receiving doses.
Could you defer Canada's doses to help those countries that have yet to get theirs?
That is absolutely a possibility, but I think Canada has been very clear that we will do our part to make sure Canadians get access to a vaccine while at the same time working to support others. And so if we get to a point where, we are not in need of vaccines here in Canada, that is very much an option that could be exercised.
Some would look at this, I think, and say that your government is perhaps so worried about its vaccine supply that it's had to dip into COVAX now to make sure that Canadians do get vaccinated as soon as possible. Is the COVAX supply that urgently needed in Canada?
Well, I think, right around the world, the COVAX supply is urgently needed and vaccine doses are urgently needed. And it was always part of our government strategy to make sure that we had multiple avenues through which to secure doses to Canadians. And COVAX was very much part of that. And in fact, COVAX was pitched to all countries in the world, including developed countries or developed economies, as precisely that, as a way of mitigating and managing risk. And I think it was a prudent decision on behalf of the government, back in the summer to make many different agreements to ensure that Canadians would receive a vaccine. We knew that this was going to be a very competitive environment. We knew that there could potentially be supply issues. And so making sure that Canadians had access to a vaccine was always part of the plan.
All right, so this is not a desperation move here because Canada's worried about getting the vaccines it expected to get.
Correct.
All right. International Development Minister Karina Gould, always good to talk to you. Thanks for your time tonight.
Great to talk to you too. Thanks, Peter.